How you doing, everyone? My name is Ryan and this is Charlie, and welcome back to This Week in Boxing. Charlie, how's the week going, mate?
No, it's good. It's a good week. Still here, healthy. You know, we got to be thankful for the bare minimum. Bare minimum, you know. So
Yeah, mate,
keep our health.
Christmas coming.
Oof.
Parties and money. Parties and money.
Big time.
Yeah. All right then. Let's go with this week's fights. Interesting weeks of fights. Let's go with the UK card first, and we'll go straight to the main event. Katie Taylor versus Chantel Cameron.
Don't get me started.
Don't get you started. Yeah, I'm about to say round of applause to both ladies.
It was. I've got to be honest. You know, when we. I don't know how I go. When we
What
go
are you
back,
going to say?
I'm trying to be politically correct here, right? When women's boxing took off, I've got to say initially, I wasn't a massive fan. I wasn't, and that's no disrespect to the ladies, but I wasn't. But I've got to say, watching Taylor's fights, particularly, they're quite entertaining. You know, and I know that sounds patronising. I know it does.
No, you're being honest.
Yeah.
You're being honest.
But she is as good,
Okay.
I think, to watch as any man. To be fair, the fights,
Yeah.
so good or bad.
I think we're at a disadvantage when it comes to women's boxing, because we saw the inception of women's boxing in the 90s on the undercard of the Don King cards back in the day. Those fights were terrible. Yeah, you had one person that was good, like Christy Martin or Lucia Riker, one of those type of guys, one of those good ladies.
They weren't compared.
Yeah, against people that they could just literally beat up and walk through.
Yeah.
So I get your point, but
Even
the new version
even-
of women fighters,
Even today, technically, like
Yeah, they're
I mean, you want people like Shields,
yeah,
Taylor, the top
Yeah.
level. I've got to be honest, and even Chantel Cameron.
Yeah.
You know, she is what she is, but the top
the
level.
overall standard's better now. But let's not sleep on Lucia Riker. She was technically smart, aggressive, could punch. She was great.
Okay.
She's one of in my opinion, she's top 3 all time out of women fighters in my personal opinion. But yeah, but let's go to that fight last night.
It's exceptional.
For me, the true sign of a champion is coming back from adversity.
Agreed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When you back in that day, the golden sign of boxing, before the Floyd Mayweather era, no one cared about losses. You fought the best, you win, you lose, you come back. Everyone protects their O. Katie Taylor hasn't protected her O. She's had some very close fights. Yeah, some fights that we might have thought could have gone either way. But what she done last night was coming back from a dominant loss in her last fight against a bigger person, getting dropped in the first round. I don't care that the ref didn't call it. That was a legit knockdown.
Was a knockdown.
To come back,
Wasn't anything other than a knockdown.
yeah, and dominate.
Yeah,
She dominated.
And it wasn't just dominate. She dominated with
Intelligence.
skill, intelligence, and even she was. You could tell she was hurt. She was tired. She dug deep, and you know I heard a friend Spencer in an interview talk about people's faiths, and she's obviously. I'm making an assumption here from her ring entry and some of the things she said, a devout Christian. To me, that performance was beyond human. I don't want to get all deeper in it, but it was, because there was times where she looked like she was in trouble towards the end of the fight. I mean, she was well ahead, but she found strength from somewhere.
There's a phrase in boxing that people throw around a lot, but people don't understand the phrase, what it means. Picking your spots. Katie Taylor picked her spots. Yeah. She was under pressure, she slipped, she worked it out, got cut at angle, combination and got off. She picked her spots at the right time to execute her game plan.
What I'm saying is doing that with those combinations and moving the amount she moves and taking
she got hit clean, got hit hard.
There were headbutts, there was all sorts. And she managed to do that for the whole 10 rounds.
Yeah, and I think as well, it's underrated when you're a smaller person and you know you have to fight someone on the inside and be in that range and stay in there for 10 rounds.
But don't you think
against a bigger person, that's a tough ask.
Don't you think she bulked up? Because I thought, and she looked physically. To me, she looked physically bigger than the initial fight.
I didn't notice it. You know what I'm trying to say? But you're most really right. You're most really right.
She went back to the drawing board,
Yeah.
and she definitely, got it absolutely spot on.
Chantal Cameron, at certain times, got lost. She was like, this ain't the same person I was fighting last time.
Yeah. It was, to be fair, this is where, again, we've given Katie Taylor a lot of credit, and she's a true world champion and a legend in boxing. Let's not call it women's boxing. But Chantal Cameron, you've got to give her credit because she was the champion.
Yeah.
She went back to fight in Ireland. It was a partisan crowd. No matter what you say, the crowd made a difference. And she stepped up.
Yeah.
She stepped up. She got a cut early on.
Yeah.
She managed that cut.
That was a big gas. That
it was big. It was deep. It was deep. Yeah, it was deep.
I'm not trying to cause trouble, not trying to be controversial, but I had this conversation this morning because you just mentioned she's a great fighter, or one of the great fighters of boxing, not just women's boxing. And I had this discussion this morning, but I slightly see it different. And again, she's a great fighter, without a doubt. She's up there with the best female fighters of all time. However, when you put in boxing as a rich history of 100 and X amount years, it's very hard for fighters of this generation to fit in the greatest fighters of all time. Because when you look at the great fighters of 120 years, which is predominantly male, female fighters have only come up in the past 30 years, maybe. You know what I'm trying to say, to be significant, and it's only been a big part of the sport of the past 10 years. You have to do much more to be hitting. Not much more. It's hard to do a lot in a short time with such a broad space of history. That's not a discredit to the female fighters. It's just that it's hard to do a lot within such a small time. In 100 years' time or 50 years' time, I believe women will be equal in terms of you have so many great female fighters, they can match the amount of great male fighters. But right now, it's hard to give that balance because there's so much more male fighters than there are female fighters. Does that make any sense?
No, it makes sense if you try and if you categorise a boxer as a boxer, it's almost like a different weight class. When you talk about female fighting and male, men, obviously the weight is the weight, but because they're not fighting each other, it's like a different weight class almost. So you can only rank someone, for me, in the category they're in. So within that field and within the whole female boxing stratosphere, and then if we put that together with boxing, because a lightweight can't fight a heavyweight, you know what I mean? So in that area of boxing on its own, as a whole, I think she is a great. She can only, I know what you're saying. If you rank her with a Lewis, like a Lennox or Sugar Ray Leonard, or these days, it's hard. But you could only take it in the context, or her in the context that she's got, and I think in that context, her and Clarissa, are I think top echelon of modern women's female boxing.
Without giving a list, and just off the top of my head, I think Katie Taylor firmly fits in the top 3 or top 5 of women fighters of all time. She could be number 1. I haven't really thought about it and broke it down. But as you mentioned, Clarissa Shields, as I mentioned, Lucia Riker, again, Layla Ali. You even got currently you still have Cecilia Breakhouse, who's what, 4-time, 5-time world champion. You just credit. You got Serrano, even though she beat Serrano, very close fight, nip and tuck. Like they've got similar accolades. And but like I said, because the sport has grown so much in the past few years, they're all growing at the same time.
That makes sense. Those that laid the foundation always going to be at the top.
Some people would like the cold women's look, Christy Martin. I'm trying to say from the 90s. I mean, people won't say she was the great because she was the pioneer.
100%. But you have to, because those that laid the foundation, they'll always be at the top. So they have to be.
I'm not taking nothing away from her. She could be number 1, but she could be number 5. It depends what you like, what you rank, and where you categorize the accolades of each individual fighter.
I don't disagree with you. It transcends sports. We have the conversation people talk about is LeBron James greater than Michael Jordan? And I'll go for tangent, but to me, you've got to put Michael Jordan first because he set the path and
that showed the others the way.
Absolutely. So I agree with what you're saying. We have to respect those that came before.
All right then, let's move into the American card. Let's go with Charlo versus Benavidez.
It was a okay. Yeah. We'll start with the co-main.
Yeah, I love Cobain. Yeah. Let's go. Charlo coming back after what, a nearly 3-year layoff. The fight was at
2.5. Give him 2.5 years to make weight.
The fight was at a catch weight. But it wasn't at the middleweight limit. Yeah. He was fighting a guy that fought Crawford 2 years ago, 3 years ago, at 147. Was fighting this guy at 161 or 162 pounds, whatever it was. And he failed the weight. And then he won the fight fair and square.
He did.
But that's not the way you come back from me. You're fighting a naturally smaller guy. You fell on the weight cut. Yeah. So you're bigger. You're the natural stronger guy. Fighting a naturally smaller guy, a guy who, like I said, is really a 147. Oh, toughness is there, but I thought we should have got more.
I'm gonna hold my counsel because, I'm usually the first to go for individuals when we perceive they let themselves down. But when you look at some of the things Jamal Charlo said in terms of what he's gone through.
Yeah, mental health issues.
Absolutely, mental health, drug abuse, alcohol abuse. I don't want to get into it because I don't know him personally. But it's probably taken him a lot to get to where he was last night. And I think we got to appreciate that and respect that. And he talked about trying in 2024 to fight 3-4 times. I think that's where we've got to judge him. I don't think it'll be fair after 2.5 years. 2.5 years is a long time
I
to come back and fight someone. I think he was a live opponent. Young Benavidez.
He's skillful. He's a world-class fighter. Just 2 weights smaller.
No, he is.
If you add in the catch weight, 3 weights smaller. And that's my thing. Where, like, don't get me wrong. I agree with what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. And life is difficult for everyone. We all go through trial and tribulation, so I'm not going to criticize what he's gone through. I just find it very hard when you got a world champion coming back fighting a guy 3 weights lighter than you.
No, I agree, but it was not the main event. He's a WBC champion, as you said. He's not. He wasn't the. He was. He's a co-main. He wasn't the main event, and he's coming back after 2.5 years. 2.5 years is a long time, and whatever we may think, we talk about people who come back after a long absence. The Alis, the Mayweathers. He ain't in that category.
Yeah.
He ain't in that category. Yeah, he's good, but he ain't that good. Yeah. So, I think you got to give him a bit of a bite, and then let's see what he does next year. I think 2024 is a big year for him. I mean, the fact he's still WBC champion, my thoughts.
We're going to get to we're going to get back to the sanctioning bodies today.
I mean,
because we've got a problem.
Yeah. Listen, don't get me wrong.
We'll get to that later.
Like you said, people go through stuff. 110%. Yeah, but sport is sport and business is business. How are you still middleweight champion?
Yeah. All right then. Before we go to the main event of that card, you wanted to mention the fight. You said before that there was another fight.
Yeah, there was. Is it Kazakhstan and hold on, let me just check because the names are not easy to pronounce.
Charlie woke up this morning at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to watch the fights.
Subaru Matthias.
I didn't see that one.
And Shago Shogaline Ergashev.
Lead the way. I didn't see that fight.
So these two were going at it in the weigh-in, going at it big time. Two big punches. Matthias won the fights by, I think it was like stoppage, but it was a good fight, entertaining fight. I think it was never going to be anything less because
the way Styles was,
I think the Styles kind of dictated that it was going to be like a war of attrition. But yeah, it was just a nice fight to watch.
It's a good fight for the guys to go back and watch if it was worth.
If you can be bothered. Yeah.
Nah, I'm sure these guys will be bothered. They're real boxing fans, so they'll go back and watch that one. All right then, let's go to the main event. Demetrius Andrade faces David Benavidez. Do you want to start, or should I go?
Well, I thought the fight went the way I would have expected
Yeah.
it to go. There were a few surprises for me. I thought Andrade started very
Strong,
well,
very strong.
very well. First 3 rounds, I thought, oh, you know, he's definitely quicker.
Combination punching was coming
he
out.
made, yeah, he made Benavidez look slow at times
Yeah.
in the first few rounds. But you always had the feeling that Benavidez would stay with it. And what we do know with Benavidez, I've been watching him a few times, is he's accurate.
Yeah.
He's accurate. He doesn't waste punches. He's not the quickest.
Mm.
He's not, I would say, and I know he denies this or he challenges this, he's not the slickest, but he's accurate and he is cute in part.
Spots.
And he just pretty much bludgeoned poor Boo Boo down, to be honest. He tore him down.
I like Demetrius Andrade.
Yeah.
I watched his career from when he was on Friday Night Fights years ago on ESPN. Liked him. However, as he's gone up in the weight class, he's never looked as fluid, as strong, as durable as he was lighter. Not saying he's not a good fighter. It's just that something looked off the weight, and I think we saw it last night where he is punching Andrade. Sorry, he's punching Benavidez, landing shots, but he's not having no effect. He's not the biggest puncher. Benavidez reminds me of Antonio Margarito, not in a critical way. Tough, extremely durable, can put the shots together. Yeah, right, and then he wears you down. He ate everything Andrade had,
To be fair,
and then walked him
his
down.
defense, I think sometimes Andrade was throwing punches and he was putting stuff up, but I do think he did block a lot.
Yeah,
I thought Benavidez did block, and he has got a deceptively good defense. I think. Yeah, I don't think he caught him clean a lot.
He's got long arms for him. He's got a big frame. He's a big guy. He covers up well.
I think he did. I think that was part of the slow start, was him slipping and taking what Andrade had, and then he started to wear him down. He's going to be hard to stop at that weight. I think he's going to be hard to stop. You know, there's been others in and around that weight. You know, the people big for their weight. So you know, like people like Callum Smith that are big for a weight. You know, but this guy is he's big for the weight, and he can hurt, and he's not afraid to be hurt. It looks like, you know, it looks like he's not afraid to be hurt, and he looks like he wants to hurt. And I think he's gonna take some stopping. I don't think Andrade is a bad opponent. I know what you're saying, looking off, and I know he's been a bit inactive and all that stuff. But I thought,
when I say that, I don't mean in a bad way. I think Andrade's a very good fighter. I think for whatever reason he was ducked coming up, or the ship has gone past now. Again, he started at 154, was at 160, got one world title, was at 168 now. He's not getting younger. He doesn't have the firepower, and Benavidez is a big guy. People will avoid Andrade was undefeated, and people will avoid him for a reason.
No, I agree.
And now that little edge has now gone. Know what I mean?
Andrade pretty much has knocked. He might not have stopped, but he's knocked down a lot of his opponents. Not like majority, 90% at least. I mean, don't quote me, but you watch his fights. He knocks down his opponents. But this guy has bludgeoned him, bludgeoned Caleb Plant, and these are good boxers. These are good boxers, and he's you know, I just think we're witnessing, you know, he's not the slickest. He's not. You know, if you ask me, is he, you know, is he somebody that I personally would put up there and would love to watch? I like to watch him because you're gonna probably get a knockout, but technically it's not necessarily my
your
cup of tea. Absolutely, I'm not gonna say it's not my cup. It's hard to say that because I like boxing. I like what he does, but you know, I wouldn't say he's one of my favourites. You know, the other people who walk people down, like, you know, even like Canelo. We watch Canelo, and Canelo similar in the
methodical.
He's hurting, but Canelo to me is that bit more exciting to watch.
Bit more spiteful.
That bit more exciting to watch, and so
it's funny you mentioned Canelo, because I was going to mention him as well. There's been a lot of talk, people saying that Canelo's ducking Benavidez, and Canelo's like, you got to fight, you got to do your thing and rare. I think last night Benavidez said he put his stamp down saying, I'm next in line. Yeah, I think it was a type of performance where now he's got more than a few strong, powerful wins under his belt. He's just beaten a former undefeated world champion, stopped him in the sixth, corner pulled him out. That's what you need. Yeah, if you now Canelo's with PBC, that's what you need. And I think we need to get Benavidez Canelo 2024.
I think so. I think so. I would have liked to have seen it even before last night, but I think you're right.
No, it could have happened, but it wouldn't have been the fight. It would have been. Now we've seen.
No, it's right. You're right. Because he was a main event on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It's not like Benavidez has done that a lot of times.
Yeah.
That's the second time, I think. And so now, depending on how that performs, he has a case. Yeah, you're absolutely right. He has a case. And the last two opponents are worthy opponents.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. I don't see where Canelo, unless he wants to fight Bivol again. Yeah. And, you know, this guy's saying, Benavidez saying he'll have Bivol. You know, and to be fair, I think in terms of size, I think he could fill out. Because he looks...
Definitely fill out. I call this kind of like the casual feel. When I say the casual feel, is all my friends are boxing. All of us are boxing fans. Yeah, we're all boxing. We all go through boxing, so we different work. But when people talk at work, who are casual fans mentioned, they went to me this week like, right, weekend ain't that Benavidez fight. I'm like, yeah. And like they didn't know his full name, they didn't know the opponent, but it started picking up.
Like I didn't know this famous.
Yeah. But he's starting to pick up that little bit where it's entertaining fights, it's lively fights. When you've seen him once, you want to see him twice. You see him twice, you want to see him 3 times. And that's what I mean, where that casual effect now, where he's kind of not crossed over, but people are starting to realise who he is. And I think that's a very, very strong point when making a fight with Canelo. The market appeal.
Yeah. Crossover appeal, 100%. Yeah. Because you say it's got to make sense. I mean, but he has said before something like not wanting to fight another Mexican. I don't know if that's true. But I think, demand is going to be there. And they're talking about Cinco de Mayo next year. You know, it doesn't get any bigger. It doesn't get any bigger. And, you know, whatever way, I don't think Canelo has much to use. Yeah. I don't think either of them, to be honest. I think if Benavidez gets beaten, he gets beaten by a legend. Yeah. If Canelo loses, he passes the torch. Yeah. You know, so
that's the way boxing's supposed to work.
Yeah.
That's the way boxing's supposed to work. Like, you know, don't get me wrong. People been saying for the past few years that Canelo's slipping. I don't think it's about Canelo. However, when you look at Canelo turned pro, what, 15?
A long time ago.
Yeah. Right. Like he doesn't have. If he's slipping or if he's not slipping, he doesn't have much more time left in the sport.
Nah.
Yeah.
He's still not the oldest.
Yeah.
To be fair, he was surprised when you hear his age, but he's not.
He's been around a long time now. I mean,
he's probably the same age as Andrade. So
he's not going to be around for much longer. All right then, let's go with the news for the week. I'm going to start with the news. You're going to have to let me stand on your soapbox.
Yeah. Go on.
After last week's fights, Frank Warren met with Adam Catterall from TalkSport and put it on him in an interview on IFL.
Yeah.
I think it was IFL. I'm going to give Frank Warren a round of applause. I absolutely loved it. And let me tell you why I loved it, yeah?
Catterall didn't look too comfortable.
No, he didn't look too comfortable. Yeah? You can't talk shit.
He asked him to turn the camera off.
Yeah. He said, not now, Frank. Like, no. You can't talk shit on your platform, yeah, all the time. And it's not just Adam Catterall. I think Adam Catterall is mostly the best guy on TalkSport. So I give him his credit, yeah. He's not a bad guy. But him and,
There we go.
You know, the other idiot, Simon Jordan,
there we go.
And all the other guys on there that I'm trying to say, there's a whole bunch of them, they like to talk shit on their platform, and then they can't take it back. Come on our platform, come and talk to us, come on our show with their security and this and that, then they give it to your face and they turn the microphone off, or let's go to a break, or let's do this. They always come and cause arguments on their show where it's a nice, safe environment. Frank Warren said, no, let's take it to the streets. The camera's right here, let's do this. Yeah, and he shut him down and told him, don't chat shit. And well done, because you can't do that. And Simon Jordan, I don't like. I listen to less and less TalkSport now than I've ever done for various reasons, including Simon Jordan. Yeah, who's the most common reason why I don't like it. But here's the thing about it. What gets me is that they're always criticising everyone else. They criticise YouTubers, they criticise Simon Jordan, they criticise this, they criticise that, they criticise that. But you can't take it back. Do you think you could talk to people like that on road or at work or on another platform or on Sky or on BT or at another YouTubers? You can't talk to people like that and get away with it. but they do it because it's in their comfort zone. Frank took that away from them, yeah? Then Frank went on TalkSport, I think on Tuesday, and they spoke it out and took a really friendly. Oh, Frank, you know, we're just friendly. Oh, Frank. They were kissing his ass because they deserve to kiss his ass because they were wrong. They keep doing it to, not just to Frank, they do it to everyone. Chat rubbish and put the pressure on them on their own platform. Good.
Thanos did well, didn't it?
He did well. He did well.
He did his timeline on
Yeah.
Adam Carroll.
Yeah.
He did his own timeline.
You in this timeline. You in this timeline. But like, you get my point. Yeah, I'm trying to say, yeah, right. I'm not interested in going back and forth with people over and over and over and over again. I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But if you poke me more than once, I'm gonna poke you back.
Listen, I think some platforms are set up and they aim to be controversial.
Mm-hmm.
So I think TalkSport can be one of them. So they used to have, you know, in the football field, or football world, they used to have, you know, Adrian Durham calling out certain things, you know, winding up certain fans, like Arsenal fans, whoever it may be. And I think with the boxing, they have a few characters that do that and try to be, or not even try to be, just are maybe controversial. And I think there's room for everyone. There's room for everyone. So I'm not as irked by these individuals, but I did enjoy, and you know, I shared the video. I did enjoy Frank calling him out.
Yeah.
And I what I found interesting is, what I don't mind. I don't mind people. I agree with you. I don't mind people having an opinion.
Yeah.
I have no problem having an opinion because that's what it's all about. And none of us, we're not gods. None of us can be right, you know, all the time.
Yeah.
But if you're going to say something, stand by what you're saying, yeah? Or apologise.
Yeah.
Either way, be a man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you very much.
that, the other day, you could see him.
Yeah.
He was in reverse.
Yeah.
You know, turn the camera off. Let's not do it now. What did I say? I didn't quite say that. No, that's not. No, we all heard you. That's what you said.
Yeah.
You know, and Frank kind of got him. He got him.
Right. Again, this is not about aggression or any sort of violence or negativity. I'm not trying to go down that road, so don't get me wrong. But you think Simon Jordan could go to somewhere else and sit on someone else's table and shout at people like that?
Who knows?
No, you get what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not the way. It's not the way people speak to each other.
If he is consistent, then so be it. What I don't like personally is, like you say, the flip flap.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I see you in person and you're someone else, but then on the radio. So, but Simon Jordan for me comes across as someone that could be potentially fairly consistent, and I think that's probably more for me respectful than the way. Like I said, Adam Carroll doesn't really say anything that offends me, but I think you can't backtrack like that. If that's what you think, say what you think.
Listen, I listen less, but even Simon was trying to back it a little bit, but they're still kissing Frank's ass on the like he's trying to act like he's still the tough guy, but he knows he's not.
What's he gonna do?
He knows he's not.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
He's running out of events because Eddie Earn's soon gonna ban him.
Yeah.
Where's he gonna go?
Yeah.
He's up with going to a Shalom event because I think he's inviting everyone for free. So he's got to be nice.
Nah, Frank pulled his card and I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah.
All right then, let's go on to some more news from this week. Not loads of news, but a few little bits. Conor Ben calls out Boots Ennis. Did you see that?
Poor Conor.
Poor Conor. So I tell you what, I admire his ambition. Yeah. However, Conor's got unfinished British business with the British board. Yeah. And to try and get a world title shot after his whole thing and everything going on, not going to happen. On top of that, credit for calling out Boots, but the Boots is too much for him. Oh. Conor ain't shown me nothing in his career that tell me he's ready for Boots yet.
No, I agree. But who knows?
Yeah.
You know, who knows? We're seeing some matchups now, you know, like Zorro.
Yeah.
And why are you laughing?
Bro, you started, bro. You always start, bro. You keep mentioning, bro. Every time we talk, bro. You done it last week, bro, and you done it before here, right?
And Bivell's opponent as well.
No, bro, you mentioned Zorro for a reason, bro. Yeah, I'm trying to say, bro, because the guy's a good fighter, yeah? He's a British level fighter, maybe European level fighter, I'm trying to say. He's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
But you know what's coming.
Yeah, so to be fair, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Is that more of a mismatch than Ben and Ennis? Probably is, isn't it? So exactly. So we're calling out Ben. Is that more of a mismatch? Yeah, it's Elisoro versus Opataya.
Yeah.
More of a mismatch than Ben versus Ellis. Like on paper. Because we never know. Right?
Yeah.
Fight is fight.
No, fight's a fight.
Yeah, fight's a fight. But yeah, on paper, we'll see. I don't care.
we'll
I'll
see.
put my neck on the line.
Yeah.
Ben versus Ennis is a mismatch.
It's a mismatch.
For me, it's a mismatch. Yeah, I can't see it. I'll go all day long to the bookie and I'll put all my money on Ennis. Yeah.
You know, it's one of the ones that people say, like, being tough. Oh, he's tough. Being tough doesn't stop you getting the arse whooping. Yeah.
And then as I said, Bivol's fighting guy in the yard.
Yeah.
Lost to and beat. I forgot his name now. Lyndon Arthur. Yeah. So again, I think that's a mismatch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Lyndon Arthur is a champion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he's a good fighter, but I can't see him beating Bivol.
Yeah.
So,
No, he's a good fighter, but yeah, not being.
yeah. So what I'm saying is Ben so deluded? Maybe not.
I tend to think it'll be a safe boxing match until Lyndon realizes he's not going to win this, and he'll try to put the pressure on, and then Bivol will catch him.
It's two boxers though. It'll be a good fight.
No, it's a good fight. I'm looking forward to it. All right then, couple more bits before I go to the big argument or big discussion. They are reckoning the Master Colin 23 we're talking about is being streamed in the UK via the Zone, not BT, not TNT.
Yeah, I saw that. It said worldwide on
Yeah.
the Zone, but I don't know if it's on TNT in the UK.
They said there might be other platforms in the UK where they might cut a deal or whatever.
Yeah, I think TNT.
But
I think
it's not TNT. It's
I
on
don't
the
know.
Zone.
No, I've seen the Zone worldwide.
Yeah.
I've seen that, but in the UK because we had this confusion recently. So I'll wait. I'll wait till it's confirmed because I think TNT will show it in the UK.
I think it might be a dual pay-per-view.
Dual,
It might be dual, but right
the Zone
now
will be
the
worldwide.
official announcement is said in the UK on the Zone.
It said the Zone worldwide. I've seen that. But I do think
20 quid.
I think TNT will show it.
And the reason why I mentioned that, not to take digs at anyone, I think it's actually really good for boxing. And the reason why I think it's good for boxing, you got Frank, who's the lead promoter for this show, now being the lead promoter on this show, which is now being shown on the Zone.
Yeah.
It's showing that multiple entities could work together
Of course they can.
separately when the deal's done correctly.
I don't really understand the broadcaster thing because, for example, Frank don't have anything to do with TNT. He does. He works for a promotional company that works with them as a broadcaster. And Matchroom don't have anything really to do with the Zone.
Yeah.
The Zone, you know.
Again, same thing. Yeah. They pay Matchroom.
Yeah. It's like a Golden Boy are on the Zone.
It's
you know?
an output deal.
Yeah. So I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I don't care who shows it, apart from the fact I ain't got Dead Zone.
Yeah.
That's my own problem.
Don't worry, watching that of mine. They're watching that of mine. Don't worry. But the part I was going back to, the part I was going back to is that because it's just showings that you could do, and having Frank's not a lead promoter, not a promoter on the Zone or a lead promoter on the Zone, to have the lead promoter from another entity being on the Zone and they're all working in conjunction. And again, Frank has a couple fighters on the card like Dubois, and Dubois is now, I don't know if Frank's paid TNT money or whatever, but they made it work. These are positive signs for bringing boxing back to where it's supposed to be. Yeah, money talks.
Yeah.
All right then. Last bit from me, and I'm going to explain this one before I get into it. We spoke over the past weeks about how the sanctioning bodies are just causing the mess. We talked about you in the WBC. Yeah, I had a go at the IBF for the stripping of Terence Crawford, and we spoke about WBC and the ring issue. So this week, Jamal Charlo has given up his IBF belt at 154. Yeah, because he couldn't come to an agreement to do the mandatory fight, which was 10 months overdue. 10 months overdue. There's the IBF that stripped Crawford after 2 months and stripped Tyson Fury and done all the other stuff over the years. They let Charlo keep that belt for 10 months, yeah? He lost to Canelo. They didn't run and strip him. Charlo relinquished it, yeah? Hold on 1 second, yeah? The IBF also cancelled the mandatory purse bids for Opataya versus Bradis 2 until after the Zorro fight, which means it should be going on now. So they're giving him an exemption. Yeah? Where's the consistency? Yeah, we're acting like the IBF had the strongest rules and XYZ, yeah? it's a problem because they're saying one thing for one and one for the others. And someone's going to find and send me a link saying, here's their rules, here's point 1 and here's point 5 and here's point 10. I don't care about point 1 and point 5 and point 10. You're not being fair with the sport. You are dragging things out and acting like you're being all nice, holies and vow when you're not.
I don't know. I'm one of them that I don't know. The IBF, at least if it's 10 months, if it's 2 months, at least if people are not doing what they're meant to do, they're moving on. They're moving on. Right? And the IBF are renowned for moving on. Right? So I agree. There's not much consistency in all the sanctions, but at least they're consistent in the fact that they make people move on. Right? Now I'm talking with the WBC. Right? We've got a bigger problem because there's people going on 2.5 years.
Yes, no, I
Two
agree.
and a half
But what,
years.
no, I'm going back to the Crawford scenario where they're stripping. I'm saying that the IBF are just as bad
But they've done that.
as everyone else.
They've done it before though.
So here's one thing. All right, now the bodies are good. Ring Magazine is the best. Yeah, right. I think we can all agree that Ring Magazine have the best system. Is it perfect? No. Is it 99% sure? I will stick with that 99% sure. The WBA and their bloody regular belts drive me crazy. The IBF and their wishy-washy rules drive them crazy. The WBC and their no rules. What I'm trying to say, yeah. The WBO, which is the newest sanctioning body, may be the best out of all these lot. No, seriously, I'm not joking, bro. Think about it, bro. Think about it carefully. How many times you heard the WBO in some bullshit controversy?
I think IBF and the WBC need to fix up. Yeah, the truth is somewhere in the middle. They both need to fix up. But I do think the lesser of two evils is the IBF. I mean, the WBC seems to just let people do what they want. But I do agree, and I don't know the details behind it because, like I said, they asked Crawford about, what are your plans, and maybe his plans weren't concrete enough. Like the fact that Charlo fought Canelo, maybe that bought him some time. I don't know, and maybe if he was doing something like that, if he was daring to be great, if Crawford was there, it'd buy him time. But I don't know, and again, I haven't got the details in front of me. Like you say, I'm sure somebody who has will share that information and educate us. But I think, as I said, just throughout my time watching boxing, I think the IBF have been more consistent in terms of telling people that they have to move on than other sanctioning bodies.
Here's my thing, yeah, and again, I'm not trying to do a history lesson, yeah, but people generally have the WBC as the main belt, the belt you want to have, yeah,
most prestigious.
Yeah, it's not really. I'm trying to say. To be fair, the real belt is the WBA, yeah, because that's the original belt from the NBA title, which was the National Boxing Association title, which became the WBA. They've got messed up rules, yeah, with their obviously multiple billions of titles, and I'm trying to say, yeah. But the whole thing that the WBC should be held to a high, is the standard. They are not the standard, yeah. And the whole thing with the IBF, and I'm trying to say, well, they strict to their rules. They are not the standard, and I'm trying to say, yeah. I think we've got to stop giving these sanctioning bodies credit, yeah, and stop paying sanctioning fees when they're not doing that for the sport, yeah. Again, yeah, when certain fighters have mentioned before saying, I just want the ring belt, or I just want to be recognised as a lineal champion, yeah. Right? That's more important, because unifying belts nowadays don't mean nothing. Yeah, since WBC came along in the 60s and the IBF came through in the 80s and then the WBO in the 80s as well, unifying means nothing.
I like the unifying.
I like it. It sounds good. It shows that he's done the work. It shows he's done the work. But being the man that beat the man that fought the best, that fought the best is more significant in today's boxing than having all these belts.
Crawford's done it. He's unified. Right? He's done it. They can do what they want. He's unified. He's unified champion. In all our eyes, he's done it.
Not no more.
Who cares what they done?
But this is what I'm trying to say.
He
Yeah,
won it. In the ring.
Today.
In the ring, he's 2-time unified champion. It happened in the ring. What they do afterwards, who cares? Let them do it.
This is not a dig on you, so don't hear that. To casual fans, they want all the belts. To real boxing fans, we should focus on the lineal belt. Who's the man that beats the man?
Yeah.
Forget the belts, yeah, because the belts are now worthless. And I'm trying to say, Ring Magazine is the only belt that has anything worth going for.
I don't disagree with that, but again, we've had debates in the past about, we go on to. Don't go for tangents. We talk about Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury beat the man and didn't lose in the ring and lost the, and no one. We still have debates whether he's won every belt. Yeah, because he's won it in the ring.
Yeah, he's a lineal champion.
Yeah, and people still debate his resume, etc., etc. How do you become lineal champion if you've got a bad resume? But as I said, we're all here to debate. We're all here to debate. We're here to have opinions. Otherwise, me and you wouldn't be sat here. We'd have no one to talk to. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
But
So-
yeah, that's what it is.
So you got 2 rants out of me today, yeah?
Yeah.
So there we go. But that's it for me for the news. Do you have any news you want to add?
No, I mean not much. I think the only other bit I heard was Fury Senior saying he thinks his son's going a
John.
bit wayward. Yeah, John
Yeah.
said his son's going a bit wayward. So usually when Fury Senior speaks, there's some weight behind it. So
Yeah.
I think before when he talks about having a PE teacher and his son needed to carry more weight,
Yeah.
you know, we saw his performances after that.
It was valid.
Yeah, and I think now he's saying his son is not
Need to manage.
hasn't filled up.
Yeah.
Hasn't filled out properly. Maybe he's gone a bit soft.
Yeah, I read the article partially. There's something about talking about his weight management and little bits along the line, but there's
Yeah, I think-
problems within the camp. It seems.
I think he said he doesn't know, quote unquote, something. He doesn't know what they're doing over there. So yeah, with the camp, he's not carrying as much muscle potentially as he has been. Talking about how if he goes into the fight thinking he can just slug it out with Usyk, he's going to get done. So he has to go back to
Be smarter.
absolutely moving, sticking and moving. You know, in the Ngannou fight, he criticised him for that fight. So usually, when the man speaks, he knows his son. Yeah. So it's just interesting to hear because you know we've been lots of rumours about punch resistance going, etc., etc. And I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, but if his own father's saying it, usually there's some weight behind that.
Well, I will say that's good news for Tyson Fury.
I think so.
And the reason why the Usyk fight is about 10 weeks away,
Yeah.
which means whatever his dad's identified has been identified in the camp and there's sufficient time to work on it. Now, will Fury work on it because he thinks Usyk's a blown up cruiserweight? That's
No, I
a
think
he calls him a middleweight. Calls him a middleweight.
Yeah.
So is his ego so far gone that he won't do it? I don't know. But if he does do it, we may see something in Fury.
I agree.
However, I will say this, which I said before in other videos. I do not think we have a prime Fury no more. I think Fury's ship has started to sink.
Yeah, and that could be the case. We don't know. But one thing for certain is we'll find out. We'll find out in February. And it could be the Ngannou fight was the best thing that happened to him because he opened his eyes and, like you say, they'll tackle some issues or deal with what they have to do to be ready for the Usyk fight. And I personally think, like I said last week, that press conference and that over dramatization and you know this not overly extra aggression that he was showing is, to me, he's woken up a bit and he's thinking I need to be on point for this because I can't not be. I could be wrong, and we never ever know until they get in the ring. That's the beauty of it all. But we can talk about this all the way till February because until then we can talk. Yeah.
We will see. That's the way I can say it. That's all I can say. We will see.
Yeah, that was interesting.
All right then, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please share, like, and subscribe. And we catch you on the next one.
Yeah, and apologise for anyone's name I got wrong.
Have a good week, everyone.
All right.